Hey pageant fans, welcome back to another episode of T Stands on Pageantry. I'm your host, Teresa K. Cole, and in this episode, we're going to be recapping the Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2024 pageant. You guys, I'm super excited because my coaching client, Reagan Ruddy, contestant number 4, was successful in her mission to capture the title of Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2024. So I am just over the moon. I'm so proud of her. I'm so excited to see her compete at Miss Universe, and I can't wait. Now let's get into this recap. This year, the contestants did a bit of a longer intro than I normally see them do. Normally, it's just your name, your age, and your district and your sponsor, and then that's it. They keep it very, very, very concise. But this year was a little bit longer, and I have to say I really enjoyed them. They were really well written, and most of the girls I thought were really they did a really good job with it. So very quickly, I just want to note that I thought Aaron spoke well. She had lots of enthusiasm. She was contestant number 1, so it was a great way to start off the show with her introduction. One thing I wish that she could have done more with that introduction was look more at the judges. I feel like she geared her introduction towards most of the audience, and she didn't really I don't think personally she really pulled in the judges to that introduction. Brianna, she also spoke really well. She had good pacing, and I like that she mentioned in her intro that she's a contestant who is breaking barriers, but I did wish that she had continued on to say what those barriers were, which is that she is the first contestant over the age of 28 to compete in the Miss Universe Cayman Islands pageant. Reagan. I liked Reagan's introduction, but my favorite part was towards the end when she said normally she goes fishing with her dad, but this time she's here to catch that crown. And I was like, that's clever. I like it. Tia, she spoke well, and her transformation is really great. I thought that when she started the competition, I definitely could tell that she was nervous, and I feel like she's blossomed a lot since then. And so it was really great to see her up there. And I like the way that she ended her speech with an inspiring self-love message. So that was nice to see. Tracy, confident is the word for her. And I absolutely love the way she went up to that microphone and introduced herself. She was like, I'm Tracy Carolina. I was like, ooh, come true with the rolling of the R, Miss Latina. Okay. And I love at the end of her speech, she said, I'm here to finish what I started. And I love when contestants are bold and confident like that. That was good. Rhonda, I thought she had loads of personality, and I love that she incorporated our Caymanian dialect into her speech when she said, a Georgetowner through and through. I was like, okay, with the personality. She's really definitely a very personable person. So I really liked her intro as well. Now into the opening number. I thought the opening number was cute. It was classy. I really, really loved when Iliane was on stage and she was dancing with the flag and she wrapped herself in the flag. I thought that was such a beautiful moment and so on brand for Iliane because she's so patriotic, and then I just felt like it gave me all the feels when I saw it. I was just like, I love this. I thought the ladies looked incredible during the opening number. They looked like they were all having a lot of fun. Now, fun thing about opening number is I can usually tell when I'm watching the opening number who's bringing it. And I spotted a few people who I thought were like, yes. And then I also spotted a few people that I was like, ooh, this may not, it's not going to end well, for some people. But that it is a competition and that is how it goes, right? So I also liked after the intro, they brought the contestants back on stage to do a fun little interview with the host. And I thought this was really nice because it allowed us to learn new things about the contestants. And they did share things that I personally had not heard them talk about before. So that was nice that they saved a little tidbit for the stage. I think that was fun and it allowed people to get to know them a little better. I thought the entertainment, Janelle, I don't remember what her last name is, Calhoun or something like that. She can really sing. She's such a powerhouse. When she sang that first song, she got a standing ovation because it was all the goosebumps, all of it. Wow, she did an amazing job with that song. I do want to interject and say that while the contestants, we are there for the contestants, were really good. I felt like the show, they really need to take a closer look at the show because there's no reason that the show needed to be 5 hours long. I definitely felt like from the last time we saw the contestants when they were doing their fun interviews with the host to the moment they came out for swimsuit, I feel like a whole hour and change had passed, and I just feel like they're only going into swimsuit. Their transition from their opening number to swimsuit should be smooth and quick. I didn't think that they needed a full hour before they came back on stage. I mean, I could have been wrong, but it did feel like a really, really long time before we saw them again. But once we got into the swimsuits, ooh, there was no stopping us then. But the swimsuit competition was really good. And very quickly, I do want to talk about some of the girls. Aaron, wow, I love that she was contestant number 1 because I felt like she started off the show really, really well with that swimsuit walk. She just looked amazing. Like, that girl is just gorgeous. And yes, she definitely has a Miss Universe kind of look for sure. She's just really, really beautiful. I thought her walk was good. She had a great smile. I loved her opening spin. That was really well executed. One thing I wish that she did differently was I do wish that she'd taken her cape off at the end of the runway. I just think that shows more confidence. And I feel like she did wait until she was kind of back on the main stage. So you had like the main stage and then you had the little runway that comes out. She did wait till she was back there before she took it off, which I feel like if you really want to set yourself apart from the other contestants and show that you're confident, you take that thing off right at the edge of the runway in front of the judges so that they can assess you properly. Because my understanding is that the scoring for swimsuit, some of the criteria was like your physical fitness, and we want to be able to assess your physical fitness. Another thing that I noted was that she was one of the girls who was consistently placing her hands on her hips and not on her waist, and I felt like that was a missed opportunity in a no in pageantry. And I felt like those swimsuits that they were wearing, I love those swimsuits, by the way. They were all black. I kind of wish they were in a different color, but I did like the cotton style of it, and I felt like there was cutouts on the side, so I felt like that's where your hands really should be because it really lengthens those legs. At least it makes it appear like your legs are longer when you do that. So I just feel like that was a missed opportunity, and I definitely feel like she could have given the judges more eye contact. I feel like that's a running theme for her. It's just more eye contact to the judges because they're the ones who are giving you your points. Now let's talk about Brianna. I like that she did a bit of a slow reveal when she went on stage and she was like pulling at her cape because it had like a little ribbon, and she kind of slowly undid it, and I thought that was really slow and sexy, like very nicely done. I like that she gave us multiple poses at the end of the runway. I thought that really showed off her skills, made her look very confident. But again, she did not take off her cape at the end of the runway. She waited until she was at the back of the stage. And then once she did take it off, she started to kind of like play around with it a little bit. And I thought that might have been, I didn't really love that. I mean, once is okay, but then she did it on the other side of the stage as well. So then it kind of felt like it was a bit too much, at least for me. Contestant number 4, Reagan Ruddy. I love how she came onto the stage with so much energy. I just felt like she was like a burst of energy. She came straight on. It was fierce. And I think the thing about her performance that I really liked and I feel like really made her stand out is that every time she posed, she held the pose. So it felt very purposeful. You got a chance to really soak her in. It didn't feel rushed. It's giving the judges enough time to take her in and score her. She's soaking up her moment, and I love that. I feel like far too many times girls don't hold their poses, and it's like, if you're gonna do it with intention, and you want us to see you do it, so like hold that pose. And she did that. I loved how she executed her turn and took off her cape at the same time. That was perfection. She was the first contestant to take off her cape on the runway so that the judges could actually see her and assess her properly. So I felt like that made her that set her apart and showed that she's really confident in her body, which why wouldn't she be? And I just thought start to finish, she did really well. One thing I would change about her performance though is something that I noticed is that she did a lot of chin chucking, which is like, lifting your chin up and down a lot. And I think it was more of like a nervous thing. Sometimes when we get nervous, we do things, even if we know that that's not like the thing that we should be doing, we kind of do them because it's nerves. So I just think, it's her first time in a pageant. I think, she will have to work on that before she goes to Miss Universe. And hopefully when she gets to Miss Universe, we will have no chin-chucking. Now let's talk about contestant number 6, Tracy. So I love Tracy's swimsuit performance. Listen, Tracy through and through is a stage girl. She is just someone you put her on a stage and she shines. She knows how to work it. And so she's always super fun and interesting to watch. I love that she was confident, and she was also another one that took her cape off on the runway, which I love. And she really had a good walk. She gave some variety in facial expressions, which I do think was missing from some of the other contestants. I think they got very caught up in lots of smiling, but don't forget, we want variety in faces. Variety in faces keeps that runway routine looking very fresh and very interesting, which is what we want, right? So I think that she just did a really good job with that. And I absolutely loved her last turn right before she left the stage, in the middle of the stage, right? So she did like this last turn, and she did it so slow and so sultry. I wish, though, that she had held that facial expression instead of breaking out into laughter, because that was chef's kiss. Brilliant. Loved it. Now, let's get into the evening gown, and I'm going to share some of my standouts. Aaron. I was holding my breath for her because I have to say, if you watch my predictions video, you know that I said this before. I think that she's one of the best dressed, if not the best dressed girl in the competition. Like, I always enjoy I always enjoy looking out for her and seeing what she's gonna wear. So I think she has a really good sense of style. So I was holding my breath saying, oh my gosh, I know she's gonna come out here in like a bombshell dress. And then when she came out, I was kind of like, not what I expected. I think I was just expecting something that was just way more wow than what we got. Like, did it look great on her? Yes. Did she look great in it? Yes, absolutely. But this girl is gorgeous. She would look good in anything. She could make anything work. That is simply how gorgeous she is. But I wanted more from her for that evening gown. I really was surprised. Something I felt like she could have done differently is gone with an updo, just because it would have given variety. It would have just given her a different kind of look. Because I feel like, we saw her with her hair down in the opening number, the swimsuit. So it would have been a nice change of pace for her to just pull her hair back out of her face and really let us admire that beautiful face of hers. But like I said, her performance was good. She looked great on stage. So I definitely did not think that this dress was jeopardizing her placement at all. Brianna. Now, I felt like she definitely did a better job in evening gown than she did in swimsuit, because I feel like she naturally has more of a slower, sultry, sexy walk, and that came across in evening gown more so than in swimsuit. So I thought she did a nice job with that. Contestant number 4. One thing with her performance that I think set her apart from the other contestants is how well poised she was throughout that entire performance. That was something that was just undeniable. Is her posture was so on point, and it made her look so regal and so statuesque, and I feel like so queenly. I was just like, wow, she is just, I don't know, just floating and just gliding and just like, wow. And I feel like she proved that it's not about the dress. It is about the girl in the dress and how you work it and how you look in it and how you feel in it. Because how you feel in it will translate to how you perform in it, guys. So bear that in mind. Now, we got to talk about Tia and Tracy. Oh my goodness. I did not expect this from Tia or Tracy, to be honest. And let me just say, Tia came out. And she came out and she had this big coat and it was so dramatic. And she was walking. She came around. She held the suspense. And then she dropped it. And I was in love with the gown. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted from contestant number 1, 2, and 3. This is the energy. This is what I wanted. And to be honest, from what I remember, I don't think we've ever seen a contestant do a gown reveal on stage before. And I was like, well played. Well played, ladies, because this is what I am talking about. Talk about bringing the excitement. That gown that Tia wore, so by the way, purple, one of my favorite colors. Pink is also one of my favorite colors. But that gown on Tia, I loved that dress. That dress was so beautiful. She looked so beautiful. That's a little bit closer to the mark of what I was looking for, to be honest. And I just felt like seeing her come out and do that totally changed the dynamics of the competition and just made it that much more interesting and that much more exciting. And the audience was just shook. We loved it. We were going insane for it. And then just when you thought, okay, nothing can't top that, here comes Tracy. And she's walking out, and I took one look at her, and I was like, oh, this is an interesting choice of dress. Not very Miss Universe. Okay. And I think I looked down at my phone, or I looked away, and then I looked up, and she whips off the skirt, and I was like, yes, ma'am. Here we go. I was like, yes, Tracy. Thank you. Back-to-back reveals. Woo. Loved it. Never have we seen it. I don't think we've seen it before, at least that I can remember. The two of them, they did the darn thing. They did the thing. Like, my goodness. And Tracy, like I said, she is a stage girl. No denying that she has great stage presence. And I was just mesmerized by her. And I always am, but just her in that gown, she did a really good job with that. I thought she looked gorgeous. And she's a stage girl. What can I say? That she just shines when she walks on stage. All right, guys. Now let's get into the Q&A section. So I saw a lot of comments online after the fact of people saying that the open-ended question was too hard. It set them up for failure, yada, yada, yada. But honestly, if we had asked some little pian question, then people would have been saying that pageants don't have no substance. They're all superficial. So because we asked a little question, have a little bit of substance to it, and now it's all of a sudden it's too hard. Personally, I don't think it was too hard. I think people just needed to take a second to really listen to the question and understand what it was asking. And the question was, what is your opinion on the importance of education in combating poverty and inequality? So let's talk about what they actually said. So for Aaron, I felt like her answer was very vague. She needed to come in a bit stronger in her conviction with this answer, and with her opinion just needed to be a bit more cemented. I think she could have, if she had been more specific, I think that her scoring would have been higher for that question and answer portion. And I just think that she really needed to hone in on why she personally felt that education was important or is important, especially in combating these two issues. Brianna. I thought Brianna definitely answered the question. She was a little bit more on the money than Aaron was for me. She started off by acknowledging that inequality and poverty are sensitive and complex issues, which I appreciated. I thought that she did well because she acknowledged that she agreed that education is the best way to combat these issues. And then she mentioned how important her own education and intellect is to herself, which I thought, yes, bring yourself into it. Perfect. I like where this is going. And then I really liked that she left us with an inspiring message at the end. It was definitely a stronger answer, and it really moved the people. People really were impressed by that answer. And then we had contestant number 4, Reagan. So for me, I definitely thought that if I had to compare Reagan's answer to Brianna's answer, Reagan would have scored a little bit higher than Brianna for me. And here's why. For me, when she answered the question, she came right out and just said it. Like, she came right out and gave her opinion on education, which I thought was perfect. Like, get right in there. Don't waste any time. Go straight to answering the question. Then she gave specific examples of what she would like to see Cayman do to offer more educational opportunities for the people, which is exactly what I wanted to hear. And like, I felt like what tipped her over Brianna. And I thought that she did a good job with an inspiring message at the end where she said, everyone deserves a fair chance to an excellent education. Listen, listen. When she said that, the crowd erupted in applause because that line right there, it was so inspirational and it's something that everybody can get behind. Now, more importantly than what she said was also how she said it, right? She delivered her response with confidence. I love when she walked out on the stage and the host asked her, you know, like, how are you? How are you doing? She's like, I was born for this. Okay, I love the confidence. And then she followed up by proving that she was indeed born for this by answering the question well. And I love that she stood there, hand on her waist, speaking directly to the people like a queen. And that's how you do it. I thought she did a tremendous job. And then after that, there was no one else who came along and answered the question quite like she did. And I thought that that really cemented her win. I was so happy for her. She did a really good job. You guys, she worked really, really hard for this. This is something that she has wanted for a long time. And she didn't just show up and enter the pageant. One of the things she did that made all the difference, she actually started training with a coach in the States before she came back to Cayman. And then she continued to take up opportunities that came her way for coaching, like coaching with me. So that's my little tip right there to anyone watching this who's thinking about entering a pageant. Don't wait until you enter. Start training now. The opportunity is striking right now. Right now. This makes all the difference when you can train early instead of waiting until you enter the competition. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I want to say a huge congratulations to all 6 contestants. I mean, absolutely amazing. Definitely, in my mind, going down as one of the most historic class of contestants ever to grace the stage in the Cayman Islands. So, job well done. I hope we see the ladies return in the future because they definitely have potential. Anyways, comment down below your thoughts on the competition. I can't wait to hear from you. Until next time, have a great week. Bye.